I could. Or
Okay. Try it. But I think we can probably afford to do this again.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna turn off my videos so you have a better sense of what the blind audition is going to be like. Because Akron is blind, I do know that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, go ahead whenever you're ready.
I also realized yesterday I had a lesson with Michael in a classroom in Bliss Hall,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
yeah, it was like a classroom and it was so
Yeah.
different. Everything sounded different, dynamics were different, and I am
Hmm.
so comfortable. This is my practice room. Like this is my practice room. I
Yeah.
play here all the time, and this is a very comfortable environment for me, and I need to start changing it up because as soon as I'm in a new environment, I'm like, whoa, because I've been playing like all summer, I've been playing in my room. like
Right. Yeah. No, it's
not
definitely
exclusively,
different.
but lately, like the past few weeks, I've been here.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna try again.
Okay. Okay.
I totally lost my focus on the third page.
Uh, yeah, it's okay, but you still recovered and you got through it. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the exposition, the very, very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the the thing, especially with this concerto, especially, is that obviously you know this already, but it is going to be very difficult for the orchestra to place their pizzicatos with you in the middle of all of this, right? Um, so you start here. Dun, 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 ding, dun. The 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 thing with that Cocoa Cello Rondo is that it it feels a little bit stuck trying to start it because you're taking too much time starting the cello rondo, and so it's going to be very difficult for the orchestra to place their pizzicatos with you in the middle of it. That being said, the intonation is good. This is a personal thing for me personally. When you get to the pizzicato, I think you can really just I think you can have much more what's the word I'm looking for? Velocity in the direction. So it's a little bit pedantic. I think you can really go for that last note, especially because it's just you. There's no one else playing at that point. But that's just a personal preference for me. When you get to the 7/4 measure, careful not to cheat that notes because the orchestra has all the melodic lines at this point, right? So. Right, yeah, so don't cheat how long that, it's a really long note, don't cheat it, otherwise your orchestra's gonna be very confused.
Okay.
Yeah, so those were the really big things on the first page.
Cool.
When you get to, where was it? When you get to the 16ths, yeah, it's that obviously that's really nasty. If you can have that particular one come out more, so that we have some semblance of what the hell is happening. Because this is all super noodly, right? And then Bartok displaces where the strong beat is because of how it's written. So I think if you can have, especially not an accent, but if you can have some emphasis on the last two beats before the 6/4 measure, that would be immensely helpful. And question for you, do you know what the orchestra has during this section?
I don't remember. No.
Okay. So yeah, that's
Like
that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we so while you're doing all this noodly stuff, right? So I'll give you a hint. The bassoon and the oboe have a melody and counter melody that happens here. So it's especially important that you line up with them. Bang. So the bassoon for sure definitely has the melody. This is in. Do you have measure numbers by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this is in measure 1, 2, 3, 4. This is measure 34. The bassoon has the melody.
Okay.
It's literally
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So don't yeah. So yes, you're the soloist here. But having that in the back of your mind, it helps to keep this piece together, right? Because
Mhm.
um there's so many little fragments of the opening theme that happen all over the place. And then obviously when you get to the Poco Minamoso, that's completely different. It's a different character. Um, I think you can afford to start to be more, what is the word I'm looking for? Oh, let me see. I think you can really afford to have probably even more drive, especially since it's slower.
More what?
And you can drive all the six templates more. Really going to the accented notes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do that. Why don't you just start from measure 39, do the transition into the Poco Minimoso, and really, when you get to the Poco Minimoso, really drive all of those notes, especially since you're in the lower register and there's not much else going on in the strings. They're all just pizzicato. Uh, even more. So what's your what's your dynamic at the Poco Minimoso? What's your starting dynamic?
Mezzo forte.
Mezzo forte, right? Okay. So there are a lot of it's marked mezzo forte because we still want to be heard. Um, I think this is just my personal opinion. Um,
Oh, hey, I have
I
to
like
go
to
let
start
Bella
from
in.
mezzo.
I'm sorry, I have to go let Bella in. She's
That's
barking.
okay.
I'll be right
Okay, go
back.
ahead. Oh yes. Okay, hello, welcome back.
I forgot about Bella. Actually, she was out there for a while. That was a long time for her. No barking. It's like
I'm
20
sorry.
minutes at least. I'm proud.
Oops. Okay. Um, yeah, so what was the thing? Oh yeah. When you start
Just try that again. Yeah.
yeah. Try it again. Really make much more of efforts dynamic and directional wise to get to that accents.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, this can be
Just
even
try
more.
again. No, can I hear you do it once more and then I'm gonna try
Sure.
again.
Okay. Okay. So, so on and so forth.
Yeah, okay. I'm really not doing the accent on the right beat. I'm doing the
Mhm.
accent on the downbeat.
Yeah, yeah. The orchestra will help you out with the accents as well, but still, really go for those accents.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's much better. Um,
That felt better.
the other thing, the other thing that I will say is that um, yours your tempo when you get to this is later after all of this.
Okay.
Um, when you get to the 5/4 measure, that's still on the same tempo. You're the thing, and everyone does this. I don't care what they say. They take a little bit of time in the 5/4 bar. Keep that moving because you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You still have 6 bars after
Yeah.
that to play, right? Yeah, so that's really all there is to Bartok. Um, is that if you know where to look for the melody in and what the orchestra has, it will help you immensely. Do you have any questions?
Hang on, I'm just writing that down.
Uh-huh.
I actually I wanted to go back to the first page and just mark a
Okay.
couple things because I didn't as we were talking it through. And um, it's the cello rondo start sooner.
Yeah, the cello round starts sooner, and it's so Euro.
All right.
Yeah,
And
so
then
it's the cello.
oh, it's
Yeah,
the okay. This okay, and then it was the long C. Just
yeah. Don't cut that note short.
oh yeah. Okay, and then yeah, at the B. Okay, just thinking about the pits. Okay, cool. No, that was really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's see. So they're probably gonna want to hear Don Juan for sure after that.
All right.
But let's go. Let's do Berlioz for the time being.
Okay. You think they're gonna want to hear Don Juan after that?
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna want to hear Don Juan most likely, but we'll come back to Don Juan
All right. Why do you think that they want to hear Don Juan next?
because it just is how everyone is.
I don't remember what the order was for the Austin audition. I have a picture of it.
Um,
I'll put Berlioz then.
wait, they sent you an order, or was it just the excerpts?
No, it was posted at the audition.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Cool. Let's talk about um, specifically the color choices that you have made. Um, so this is all well and good. When you get to rehearsal 2, I believe you did this in first position, right? Um, right. Right, that's what you did.
I can't see your left hand, but
Okay, so
I
yeah,
start
so it's this.
third.
Yeah,
I start
can you play
third.
it from rehearsal? Okay, can you play it from rehearsal 2 for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. So there's there are two things that are going to be that they're going to nitpick about. One is so yes, you have a nice forte sound, which is great, but you are also playing with the English horn, and there are 7 of you versus 1 English horn.
Mm.
So this is really more of like a poco forte, if that makes sense. So so on and so forth. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is that Berlioz is kind of really bad at writing dynamics, right? Um, so you have nothing that gives you any sort of dynamic like cohesion whatsoever from the actual scores from your part. Um, so again, you have to look at what the orchestra has. Hush. That's my headphones dying, but that's okay.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So okay, good. When you get to 2 before 3, ah. So it's very, very standard, and it's very typical for people to take time going into 3. And those 2 measures need a quicker. They actually need a quicker diminu window, because you are also playing with the cellos at this point.
Yeah.
Because they have. Yeah. And then obviously 3, don't worry so much about playing like a true mezzo forte, because there's 2 sections of you playing at that point. So all you have to do for that is just focus on the vibrato and the ends of the notes. Right. And then the last thing, the sextuplets, when you get to them, if you can somehow keep the bow in the not a seesaw, seesaw is the wrong word. So what's happening right now is that you have a lot of arm motion for not a lot of economic productivity.
I can't see your arm.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I still can't really see it. Maybe
Okay.
back up.
So okay.
Back up.
Okay.
But you're saying less movement, like less.
So what's happening is that this is actually more in the wrist than the arm itself for the sextuplets. Yeah, that's better.
Michael has been
and then
trying to get
the
me to
other
not
thing,
play that way. Michael has been trying to get me to not play that way.
to play what way?
He's like, he says I use too much wrist. So I've been really trying to stabilize my wrist. Like use it minimally.
Okay.
But I can play, like I just felt
Okay.
like by the end of that, I felt like I played it better than I've been playing it, you know. Right now, like today, I'm having trouble with that section today for some reason. I'm not having a great, I don't know, I feel like I'm having kind of an off day. Yesterday was an off day, today was an off day. But yeah, okay, it's interesting that you're saying that though, because I decided already that I'm not going to take another lesson with Michael before the audition, because at this point he's telling me that I have to play it the way that he wants me to play it, his way. And he does not accept anything else. And like he does not like respect me as a professional. I know I'm not as good of a player as him, but I've been doing this a long time too, and like I have a lot of experience, and I'm freaking 38. You know, he thinks just because he's 20 years older than me, he is God, and like his word is the word, the word.
What can you do, right?
Yeah.
So recaps. Careful with starting rehearsal 2. Poco forte, not a true forte.
Okay.
Be cognizant of the English horn and the cello lines when they come in, and then when you get to the sextuplets, it's more in the wrist than in the arm.
All right.
Yeah. Questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Okay. Oh, the other thing that I was going to say is that you took this excerpt really fast, by the way.
Yeah, it felt fast to
Yeah,
me
like really
too.
fast.
But
It was very fast.
I was already going, and I was like, okay, I gotta commit to this tempo.
I mean, that's good that you recognize that. So, but yeah, just thought I would share that. What else do you have? You've got Beethoven. You've got 2 Beethoven excerpts actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do Mozart's
Okay.
for the time being.
Check. Can I go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start over.
Okay. Um. So starting the Mozart. Um. Those quarter notes that you have, did Michael tell you to play them long at the
No.
beginning? Okay, yeah, because they were very long. So don't make sure the quarter note. There's this big debate about how to play those quarter notes. I've heard them played both ways. which is what you did, and I've also heard it played super short. I personally like them shorts because of what's written in the brass and the woodwinds. Because that's all they have, and they're all staccato. That being said, the actual stroke that you have, if you can see my camera or whatnot.
You lower it and move it a little bit to the, can you lower it and move it a little bit to your right?
My rights.
Yeah, and lower, like, or stand up.
Maybe. Let me see. That's too far away. Okay.
Yeah.
Better?
That's
okay.
perfect.
So your stroke, everyone says that the stroke is off, which is true to a certain extent, but it's the same problem as Mendelssohn, right?
Yeah.
It's already fast enough. So I wouldn't worry about playing it necessarily off the string per se, because the speed and the velocity already help you with that regard. You just have to make sure that the notes are clean, especially in that one in particular is suspects to it not sounding clean.
Yeah.
So those are the two things for that part of the exit.
All right. Thank you.
And then it obviously it happens again, but when you start measure 134, don't accents. Because you have the violins coming in.
Wait, can you say that again? I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Okay, so 134, right?
Yeah.
Don't accent the beginning of it. So the reason why you don't want to accent it is because it's a continuation of what the violins have previously for the previous three bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be some sort of emphasis on the C sharp. So you have. But yeah, so everyone says not to put an accent on the low C sharp. That's true, but there's going to naturally be an emphasis on it because of the way it's written.
Yeah.
And because of that, we can have that decrescendo going back into the recapitulation. The other, there was something else I didn't quite catch. Do you want to? Hang on, where was it? Can you just do the second part of this excerpt for me?
Yes.
Very good.
Michael just changed that bowing yesterday, so I'm playing it particularly bad right now.
What did he have? Is it 1 bar per bow?
Yes, except measure 135, 6, 7. Instead of doing the bowing that is in the Akron excerpt music, He plays down, he keeps the slur separated. He doesn't separate the slur.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a choice you can make. It's not a bad it's not a bad one, but it's not the one that I would do. But it's not the hero now.
Yeah. What would you do?
I would do what I did. And I do the first 3 bars all in one go.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. I think it's much smoother,
Yeah.
and there's not these huge 1 bar breaks because
Yeah. I like that.
But you do what works for you.
What's that?
Yeah. So just try it again. Don't try 1 bar Don't try it all in 1 bar right now. Just do what you did.
This was happening to me yesterday, though. Like my fingers were getting twisted yesterday, and it's happening again today. And I don't know. Like I don't know what's going on. It's slightly concerning.
Okay. So how do you feel right now? Like currently?
I feel like some brain fog and a little bit hungry.
Uh-huh. Okay, so note to self, before you take your audition, don't go in on an empty stomach.
Yeah. Okay. But I ate a snack, like I did eat right, like not right before. I like one. I guess it's been a while. I didn't eat enough. Okay. Do you want to try again? I don't know.
Yes, please.
I don't think I'm gonna. I think I have to slow it down and like rework it. Like my fingers are getting so twisted right now.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, so Mozart is very Mozart's very elegant, quote unquote, right? Um, but the biggest thing, and this is gonna I have a sneaking suspicion this will happen with Mendelssohn as well, is that if you try to play this actually off the string, nah. It's really more about the parabolic lines, right? Because this is all scalar and whatnot. It's not necessarily about the actual individual notes of playing them off the string, because you can't. It's too fast. This is said all the time, but I would follow the actual line of the notes that you have, and that will solve pretty much about half of your issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. No Romanian Rhapsodies, since this is only doing section. Okay. We've got what? Don Juan, Beethoven, and Mendelssohn. Okay. Let's hear Beethoven particular. Yeah, let's go to Eroka. Let's do Beethoven 3.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about that. So when you got to A, right? So this is the Beethoven problem is that he has all of these sforzandos everywhere, and all of in the latter part of this. Um, and he writes fortissimo with a crescendo in the measure previously coming from what pianissimo. That's not going to happen, right? It's physically impossible to come from pianissimo to fortissimo. If you can have those sforzanos really pop out, that's gonna make your excerpt just that much better. Um, when you get to the last part of this, right. Yeah, careful not to overshoot between the string crossings, right? Because I think you're overshooting a little bit. The D and the G strings they're just right there. They're actually just the closest to one another. So you don't have to shoot so far to hit each one.
Yeah.
The other big thing that I will say is that don't jump the gun in those 3 bars of rest. Right. So at the beginning, don't jump the gun there because the cellists are still playing. All of this before A was good. This was all fine. This was all good. Do you mind starting at A again for me? Okay.
That was like a light bulb moment.
So,
You told me that the D and G are closest. Like,
yeah, they're
I
so
never
close.
thought about that, but like the angle of the bridge, like yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're super close. Yeah, try this again, and
Alright.
I really want you to aim for those sports fondos.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, and even more on the ones that are 2D because all the strings are playing them. Yeah. The big thing with this excerpt is that um, that was not a very good example, but so it's much more. The lines are much more are longer than you think, right? This isn't obvious in our part, but the woodwinds have. Really the woodwinds have the melody throughout most of the beginning of this scherzo. Um, I would not take this scherzo any faster than what you just played it at.
Do you think I was like borderline too fast?
No, I wouldn't say you were borderline too fast, but um, there's a very famous recording. I think it's with Bernstein. He took it. That's too fast, right? That's too fast. Yeah, right. The woodwinds have to breathe and they have to play all those notes, right? Too fast. But yeah, questions, comments, concerns?
No, that was super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
So
And we might as well do the yeah. Okay. Let's do the other base of the next search since it's just right there.
all right.
Okay. Okay. So, three big things. Number one, uh, careful not to miss the beginnings of all of these phrases.
Careful what?
Not the accents. You had a bit of an accent, especially on the last phrase. So that's the big one. And then the other big thing is that in the piano dolce phrases, so what I'm looking for, especially in all of the dotted 16ths, right, is that then make sure that those notes don't die, especially. It's not the dynamics that are the problem. I think your dynamic level was actually pretty fine. Because again, you're playing this with 7 to 8 other violas and 7 to 8 other cellos, right? But that being said, those notes they have to have the ends of them need to have vibrato on them. When you get to yeah. Yeah, that's much better. With
What you
don't
said
take
about
so early.
sustaining. I'm sorry. What you said about sustaining the dotted 16ths made a lot of sense to me, and I heard it.
Yeah, it's not so much with the right hand; it's more with the left hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
The right hand is very easy. Yeah, so when you get to this note, it's very easy to sort of crash on it. Uh, this is more pure forte. It's still within dolce. This I call this the Beethoven problem, where you have to decipher whether a sudden forte or for like sforzando is within piano, or if it's actually like a true like pow in your face. The other thing, especially when you have the I'm skipping towards the end here. those four sandas, they do need to come out. Just as ever so slightly. Um, and so, a question for you: What does who has the melody at the what the hell is that? Right. Okay. So who has the melody and the fourth measure of B?
Horns?
Yeah. So
Yeah. I wouldn't have known
yeah.
except you
So
saying it, and then I heard it. I
uh-huh.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
been able to
Yeah.
recall it.
It's really important.
Yeah, like the fourth measure
Because
of
the
B.
yeah
Yeah. Okay.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
I I
the
know.
horns and trumpets.
Okay. Yeah, I need to like you're reminding me that it would be good to study scores again because I haven't done that since the Youngstown audition since May. You know,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just I just been practicing in my own world, like not thinking about the score at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing with this is the reason why I hate doing excerpts is because they're completely out of context.
Yeah.
Like it's and you have to show not only that you know the excerpts, but you can play it in tune, in time, and in the correct style, and also somehow convey the fact that you also know what the hell is going on while you're playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I haven't like invested myself in this round because I'm like, okay, this is just a thing that I'm doing to get better at doing this thing. And it's not like the real world and I don't know. Like I will study the score for a piece that I'm going to perform, but for excerpts
Yeah.
it's like harder to make myself study the score. But I know I should be like this is a good reminder. I should be studying these scores.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because I am going to perform this
Yeah,
in 10 days.
yeah.
Am I-
The very last thing is that
Yeah.
the last the penultimate measure of this excerpt that is marked pianissimo.
I know, yeah. You didn't hear.
Everyone forgets about it. That does need to be less than your melodic material
Okay.
beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah, because really, what is this movement like? What's the form of this movement, right?
What's
It's a
that?
thing that. What's the form of this movement?
Theme variations, yeah.
Yeah, it's super important. All right, so we've got Mendelssohn and Don Juan. Okay. Do you want to do Don Juan or do you want to do Mendelssohn?
Well, Mendelssohn is next.
Okay,
So,
let's do Mendelssohn.
okay. Um, I'm sorry, I just need to clean my glasses.
That is perfectly fine. Okay. All right. So let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay, question. Do you happen to know what's going on at rehearsal B?
I don't have rehearsal B. I do have bar numbers. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I do have rehearsal B.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So okay, so this is kind of it's all a bit of a run-on sentence, and by that I mean it's all a continuation of what happens before. So after you do. It's all a run-on sentence. This is all harmonic stuff, right? Is when you get to the sforzandos before C, right? Those are important, but we also can't have them be too much because of where the woodwinds are in the register. They're very low in the register. That's what the flutes have. That being said, there, and I hate to say this because I've heard it 1,000 times as well. When you get to C, so the problem is twofold, and I've done this as well, so don't feel bad. So when we get into C, right? This is obviously tapers, right? But then we have to start this. We have to start this with pianissimo, and it's very easy. So if we taper too much. So that's how to deal with that. So don't taper too much into C because you still have to play.
Right.
Yeah, he's actually way more active.
Do you taper at all?
Yeah. So it's yeah, absolutely. You taper a little bit. And the problem, again, this is just a romantic era problem, is that there's nothing saying how much of a dynamic you should be at, really, until you get to until you get to what the hell measure is to like measure 49-ish. Or no, sorry, not 49. That's incorrect. So you have, it is. I can't see these measurement numbers. I'm very sorry.
52, 50. Well, B is 49.
Yeah. So after all of that nonsense, when you have the continuous sixteenths again, there's nothing saying what dynamic marking you should be except for a crescendo that starts at B, right? So it's not very evident. So yes, to answer your question, yes, you will taper into C. But you have to decide what dynamic you're tapering from. Because there is, and I would only taper to that piano. I wouldn't go down any further because you still have all of this after.
Yeah.
The other big thing is that all these accents aren't really, they're not really like, they're not firework accents, as I like to call them. They're not fireworks. They're more of oh geez, what is happening at this point? So these are actually the fairies like spreading their dust, right?
Yeah.
For those, yeah. It's granted the fairies are not very nice in this production, but that is later in the opera where you find that out. But right now this is like think of it more sparkly, not so much of fire, like a firecracker. And then the hairpins that you have, they're going to happen naturally because of the way it's written. You don't have to force them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, don't force the hairpins because you're playing this again with 7 violas, like 10 second violins, and like 12 first violins, right? So, and then obviously after this excerpt, the violins take over, and then we don't care because we're done with the excerpt, right? Would you from let's see. Yeah, just start from into the second measure of C for me.
Okay, 1 second.
Sure. Oh, well, it's a good thing I don't have to go anywhere today.
Why is that?
Because it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
It's all dark and gloomy, and I hate it.
Yeah, it is. It's not. Yeah, it's been cloudy here too. I'm sure we'll be getting what you're experiencing right now in like an hour. Or two. Okay, you want me to play from C?
Yes. Just do it from C to the end of the excerpt. Okay, so your bow is not very nice to you. And so it's making everything much harder. And because you are very far up in the bow here, like you are almost here, right? You're in the. Is it possible to scooch more towards the middle? Okay. Yeah. That's much more controlled. The thing, especially with careful not to let your right hand speed up more than your left hand. Um, um, uh, but yeah. And obviously the last thing, and obviously Skype is the best for this, is to just be cognizant of your dynamic level. Questions, comments, and or concerns?
Well, when you say that, cognizant of your dynamic level, like, do you think I'm too loud?
It might. It sounds loud, but that's not very. It's not entirely accurate because there's a whole medium and then there's like two separate systems and speakers and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's also it's hard for me to tell, like, this is what I was trying to say earlier about playing in that classroom. Like, the dynamics were so different. Like, the dynamics that I do in my practice room, which is a small bedroom, was different than.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like I want to practice more in like, I want to text Jay and ask him if I can practice at Ford next week.
Mhm.
The recital next to Powers.
Yeah. Where is Akron having their audition? Like the physical location? Is it at their stage or is it somewhere else?
It's at a church, I think.
Okay. I think it's what EJ Thomas is what it's called.
Well, that's the hall, but the audition is at the House of the Lord.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So that place is really super resonant, like really resonant. It's kind of soupy almost.
It looks like a gym.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. So all of the notes just kind of jump off of the string in that room.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Not that you'll be able to actually have access to it before you walk in, but just FYI.
All right. That's helpful.
Yeah. And obviously, let's do some Strauss
All
because
right.
Okay, so um, um, okay, so this is an excerpt that all of us hate, right? Um, so you started very slow and then you sped up in your pizzicato. Um, I wouldn't, when you start this, think more linearly, not so technically. What I mean by that is it all leads. It all leads into the pizzicato section, right? So yeah, you have all of this craziness, and it's a pain in the fucking ass to start this piece. Yeah, so what? Think more linear. Think more linearly. Don't think of I have to play every single notes in perfect timing. Because that is the fastest way to it's the fastest way to just like go completely haywire. That being said, yeah. So now, of course, I said one thing, and I'm going to say something else that's going to sort of contradict that. But when you get to like T before A, those the this is the same problem that Beethoven, starting Beethoven 5, has, is that the difference between the eighth, or in this case, the dotted eighth and the 16th, and the actual triplets. If you can have more of those, I don't want to say the punch, but if you can have more of a difference between those. If you really bring out the 16, it's gonna be super helpful. These, when you get to wait, hold on. So what the hell is that? Is this what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 before B? Yeah. Okay. When you get to 6 before B, I like this works for me personally. I like to think of starting from the second note of the triplet, if that makes sense. If so, here's what I put the emphasis on the second note of a triplet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It helps to power it to keep this going. Let's see. Let's go back. Can you start from C before A with the pickup, and just play till B.
I forget where he's O.
Okay. So this, yeah. Remember what I said about the dotted 8th and the 16th, right? So you were good throughout all of A, and then you got to before B. So those don't make those in the triplets. Keep those as dotted 8ths with 16th.
Yeah.
And be careful not to cheat the length of your half notes. That didn't happen this time around, but when you did it originally, you jumped the gun going into the next measure, going into 2 before B.
Okay.
Yeah, careful about that. Question for you. Do you happen to know who has all of the counter stuff and going into C and whatnot? So you have. Right. So you have all of that, and then you have triplets. It's not the end of the phrase. It's just a fragment.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
It's just a fragment. The clarinet has da, 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 da. And then it happens in the cello the next time around. And then obviously when you get to that's part of a fragment. Do you mind doing let's do from C. You cheated the half note on the E flat. Yeah. You're with the cellos there. Don't cheat that half note.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, does what I said make sense? Good. Okay. But yeah, so especially C to D, it's all linear. Yes, it's all chromatic, and yes, you're jumping around all over the place, but it's all leading us into the next section of. It's really just like one big introduction into D, right? Because D is where things calm down, things are actually settled, and we actually meet like Don Juan, right? But yeah, any questions, comments, concerns for me?
No, I don't think so. This is super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. I believe that covers everything since you're not doing any of the solo stuff for the audition for principal, right?
Right. No.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that about covers it. Yeah. Julio, I have to go figure out life now, so. And
I have to go figure out how to play viola. Just kidding. I'm taking a break and I'm going to eat something.
sounds good.
But thank you. This was very helpful.
Of course.
Much appreciated. And back to the grindstone for me.
I feel that. Well, if you have any questions, you know where to find me.
Thank you.
No problem.
Have a good night. Happy Friday.
You too, Jenna.
Bye.
Bye-bye.